Hello, hi, Prince Mahlang here. Welcome to Magriza Made Me Cook. So today on the show, we want to experience what's termed township tourism. So we're here in Nkulumane, but generally we're just also going to talk about Nkulumane as a township. So our guest, our guide, is going to tell us more about the history of this place and also where we can get good food. So we're here in Nkulumane, which is about 13 kilometers from the Bulawayo post office or statue Joshua Nkomo statue. So we always base our distance from the Bulawayo post office or from the statue. So we're here to experience some township tourism and to learn a lot about this beautiful township of Nkulumane. Welcome to the show. Dr. Ushap.
Ushap, I'm not right.
I said, Nkulumane.
Busy, I'm a passer to that.
Busy center?
It's a busy area.
So this place is called what?
This area is called Nkulumane 5.
Nkulumane 5.
This is, I think this is the busiest of all the areas, Nkulumane. As you can see, we call up available flea markets here too. And the flea markets, they're in various sections. They're in Pata, where they're party, hardware. We also have that this side. And then we say, market, some perishables, some fruits, some tomatoes, some veggies, land. And then we also have this terminus here to LA. So this is actually the busiest place.
So this is the epicenter.
This is the epicenter of Nkulumane.
Okay, Doctor, let's take it back. Nkulumane, what does Nkulumane stand for? When was this township created? And the demarcations of Nkulumane. Because you're saying Nkulumane 5. It's just where I know there's Nkulumane 12. Can you just explain those demarcations?
All right. If you look at the name Nkulumane itself, or maybe before I even go into that, if you look at how our townships in Bulawayo were named and structured, you would find out they were named after a royalty. Just like Mzilikazi or Lopengula. And if you look at Nkulumane, if you go back to history, Nkulumane was the eldest son of Mzilikazi.
Okay.
So if you look at that migration from a KZN, the current KZN, if we want to look at it that way, when they were migrating to Zim, Mzilikazi split his groups into two. And then when he had split his groups into two, you'd find out what year the other group with Ugundwan was an uncle. Okay. And then with his eldest son as well, Nkulumane. So Nkulumane, when they were the first to arrive here, and then that was in 1838, if you look at history. And then Mzilikazi was in 1840. Then those 2 years, when Mzilikazi had not yet arrived, they needed a king.
Okay.
And
then
that king
person was there.
Yes, and then that person was there, Nkulumane, the eldest son.
Okay.
But not knowing that Mzilikazi would ultimately arrive. And then when he arrived in 1840, and then history to tell you Nkulumane was banished.
Okay, where did Nkulumane go, by the way?
At the south of Limpopo, we're not quite sure. They will tell you, special missionaries and historians, they will tell you that he was killed. But no one knows about that.
No one knows that.
Yes, so Nkulumane is a Lorichi. That is where we derive our name.
Okay.
And then if you look at how we were established, we were established after 1980 as compared to
post-independent.
Yes, it's a post-independent township as compared to these other areas that were established early.
Omakokoba,
Mzilikazi, Opelandaba, those were established prior to independence.
Okay. Then demarcations now.
Right.
How do we now separate Nkulumane, or how is it separated?
Geographically, Nkulumane Nkulu. Remember, at some point we were the biggest township in Bulawayo, but however, yes, and then we've also had the merchants of Omalorich like Omkanwini. If you look at Lapi areas, like I've said, in Nkulumane 5. But Tina Nkulumane, we normally don't use these demarcations ngama numbers.
Okay.
We normally use them ngama bizo. ukuthi Nkulumane 5 lapha ukosekusile angithi it's Nkulumane 5 phezulu ngapha is still Nkulumane 5 but it's an area kuthiwa kuko bullet angithi and then ususiba le enye Nkulumane ephansi ngapha kuthiwa kuko mnet angithi that is where you find Nkulumane high so le Nkulumane ngapha joins Inketha 6
so ye join le Inketha 6
yes ye join le Inketha 6 le church lapho kuthiwa iBrethren so ngathi straight kulo mnet and then sesiba le Nkulumane high and then we jump to Inketha 6 and then there's a main road that moves from this direction so jump from if I place le Nkulumane 10 so Nkulumane 10 because labo mnyoro khona
the famous mnyoro
yes the famous mnyoro because labo mnyoro bona nje but that Nkulumane 10 expands siya phansi ngathi
so expands further
yes it expands further so ilani Nkulumane manxa iphela usukhangela le Nketha 8 then usukhangela le kuthiwa imbundane yes and then ususiba le Nkulumane 11 so Nkulumane 11 yet after mnyoro ya continues inganti land izintaba phezulu ngale then from there abantu usually they count with digits
or the
so yes so Nkulumane 10 these are now 5 digits so le Nkulumane 10 so le Nkulumane 11 12 13 14 15 16 and
it's a huge township
yes it's a huge township and then ngapha phezulu manxa unganthwa uye Nkulumane complex because le Glencar it's another part of Nkulumane but you know emalokishini lama demarcations are different but then it's affluent yes khiweni yethu
iphela ndaba eNkulumane
yes and then ngapha silenye Nkulumane eyabikhangelane labo heroes eka it continues siya ko Ashes ngale there's a garage ngale that is famously known as Ashes lani area ye joinana le Phumula
ngiyabona imgwaqolwana that goes straight to Untemban
yes so again you also have that Solusi road Kami Ruins road yena lana yes so Nkulumane yokugcina lana esithi ngama 16 khona le phezulu
now let's talk about the uniqueness. What's the uniqueness of Nkulumane as a township looking at in the dimension of tourism?
I think as Nkulumane you would find out because we held that long history of being the biggest township. I think apart from Tumbani, we're the only township in a complex.
Remember
they were built in Utugul and Tumbani Lati. And then we also have Heroes Eka. And because we are also a route to Okami ruins, that also makes us as a spectator to view if I want to be visiting those areas. Remember, we have tourists going that direction, going to Kami ruins. Yes. So those are maybe some of the unique features as Lati. And the posters.
Let's look at the food dimension. Like the top 5 places that someone can like.
Tinalapa, I wouldn't say we have a food establishment per se, but we do have in Dawzogosa. Like Lapa, now there's a house that sells this tralangale. Lama salads, but the salads and then they provide price stands, and then people can eat. We also have caravans here, just like as you see them here, like for abantu abasebenza laba bemchoven, and also the people that are selling. That is where they get their food. And then tinangale Nkulumane 10 we also have caravans on allow.
Nice.
And then it's la indawo etokuthengisa utshwala but ngemva kwakhona there are also people who are selling. And then ikhona enye indawo ngale Nkulumane 12 unganthi ye Queen Elizabeth talk say whatever it's a spot for drinking. Yikho vele sithenga khona inhloko yethu thina nxa sesiyikhanuka. Yes, they sell nice inhloko phansi ngapha.
Super quality.
Yes.
Nkulumane has got diverse food outlets ranging from traditional cuisine to foreign cuisine. And opportunity of experiencing what's called Igango. So Igango is just a meal that sees a combination of different types of meat, vegetables, all cooked at once. So the nice part about Igango is that it's served on one plate. So if you're 2, you would share that Igango. If you are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you share Igango. It's nice when it's shared. So that's the food stuff. There's also other places that we went to, Nkulumane 12, different caravans that you can get good food on the road. how do we get, how does someone get to Nkulumane?
In Nkulumane there are so many routes that we can use. Like mina ngihlala lapha komnyoro Nkulumane 10. Sikadela thina ku 411 apana ko hyper. So yona ibuya vele through this route to Plumtree Road.
Oh, Plumtree Road. Then ikhona lapha na emganwini 10.
Bese sikhona sibuya coming towards Onketha labo Chabalala.
Oh yeah, emarobotini.
And then layer kosekusile sikiyo, it cuts across iChabalala and then iphume ngesizinda, then it gets into town.
Okay.
So yadlula ama industry. Then sesiba la le ephezulu ngapha Nkulumane 12. Le indlela oyisebenzisa from Kami Road and then ungene complex ubusungena ngeziphaleni lapha emarobotini. That is the route esetshenziswa ngabantu abeNkulumane 12.
Okay. Let's talk about this issue of township tourism. That's why here for today's shoot. How can we now develop places like Nkulumane, or how is Nkulumane leading the way in terms of having that tourism, that township tourism?
I think we have a huge potential. But then the problem is, you know, especially our inherent problem of the economy. But there is so much that we can actually do to make Nkulumane a tourist attraction. One example, already we have a Heroes Acre this side. And that can be one thing that we can use to market Nkulumane. At the same time, we also provide a route to tourist attractions like Okami Ruins. We can have abantu ababazayo, you can be able maybe to market them on the roadside. We do have that potential. And we also have small businesses that we have, like shops that have been established. But my main concern, especially on the tourism side, is how do we involve the youth there?
Okay.
That is where my main question is, and what can be done.
Yeah.
Yes, and what can be done, because you know employment as well, it becomes a difficult scenario that everyone is facing. So how do we rope in the youth in terms of finding job opportunities, the establishment of SMEs, now this small business? How do we rope them in? That is where my main concern is. Yeah.
So then let's look at the development of, in your own view now, development of a tourism model, a township like here in Bulawayo, also looking holistically at Zimbabwe. How can we now tap in to a township? Before we start encouraging people to go to Omatopos, Nyanga, Vic Falls, why is it important Ubuntu or Shalep inside to go see a culture park, to see Nkulumane?
I think we should revive that aspect of our park, our recreational parks. I think it's cooler. We used to have them where people just go and relax on it. And then I think we also need to have our attractions where people can come and visit, especially for abantu who can be able to do their own craft, where we can be able to visit. And then again, I think graffiti is quite nice.
I saw the
yes, I'm on Facebook. What if we have people who are able to do that and we find a place for them to do their art? So I think it's also an investment in terms of infrastructure where people can be able to market their expertise. Slavabantu can be able to do so much handiwork. If what happens if we give them an infrastructure where they can be able to market themselves. If you visit some areas, there are some areas like it's normal things, but artifacts that even somebody who comes from a different area can be able to buy.
Okay, so it's sort of you identify with that area.
Yes, we identify with that area.
Thank you, Dr. So if someone thinks of Nkulumane, what comes to your mind? Because maybe we think of Mkambo, Baba Fields, we think of the stadium, Luveve, we think also of the stadium. What comes to your mind when you think of Nkulumane?
There are two things that mainly attract Nkulumane: complex, so when you talk about Nkulumane, something about Nkulumane complex, because they can be able to do is into like banks there. Shops
business transactions.
Yes, business transactions, they do it. And then again, remember, Nkulumane is also a rank. So Cholo, Amaning, Akona Piana, Amanya, Plumtree, Akona Piana. And then we also have that Solusi Road, Kami Ruins. That is the complex. It's a feeder in terms of transport also to those areas. And then Sibale Heroes Eka Lapana Pesu.
So Yama or that comes
to our mind. Nkulumane.
Then last will be, what advice you want someone who's like hesitant on traveling? What advice would you give them? Would you pursue the world wherever you are, even local? If you are in Bulawayo, travel locally in Bulawayo, then you can also expand further.
I love Makokova. You know, when I go through Makokova, when you look at those houses, there's just so much that comes into your mind. Remembering it was the first
township in
Bulawayo.
Yeah.
And when it was designed for males only.
Exactly.
With no families. Even now, Stanley Hall, even now, Kangele, Robert Church called to that school. It's still exciting up until now.
Flashbacks.
Yes. And even when you look at the business side of things, people are busy that side. Whether abantu are selling their feet at ranking. It has that economic value and
it's got its own economy.
Yes, that when I see it, I see what you know. These people, whether the economy is bad or not bad, but they still know how to hustle.
Yeah, which is very
yes, for me it's unique in Makoko when I look at it.
Okay, then let's go to outside.
Like maybe I've stayed in South Africa. I like how townships have so much significant value. Because when you look at Tanzania,
Eastern Cape.
Eastern Cape in East London, the way that it's big, you can see what so much has been put into it. Well, at Botswana I never got the chance of figure Malorichin, but I liked how the city on its own is designed now. It's now modern, and also you'd find out because it's now modern, it's now linked to Amazula, like the South African border is like what, 10-15 kilometers away.
Okay, thank you, doctor, for your time. Learning about Nkulumane, and we hope also it's going to be developed in the future, and also some people can come just visit. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much.
Well, drawing from the conversation that we had with our guide, Dr. Malinga, I think there's room for, or there's potential for the development of township tourism. So as you see in other places like the murals, the paintings that we saw there, just opposite Gomnyoro, those are initiatives that are sort of like channeling township tourism. And also if you look at stuff like the food caravans that are developing in Nkulumane, the business centers that are developing in Nkulumane, those are sort of like steps in promoting township tourism. So what's your take on township tourism? Looking at, is there room for us to improve township tourism here in the city of Bulawayo? And also taking note from other cities such as in Johannesburg, in Soweto, you look at East London, Tanzania, and Dr. Malinga also spoke about what's happening also in Gaborone. Is there room for us to develop township tourism here in the city of Bulawayo? So if you like this video, please share, comment. Like I always say, maybe someone in your circles might be inspired to visit Nkulumane. Because remember, before we start traveling outside, before we start going, don't you think it would be wise also for us to explore our beautiful city here of Bulawayo? This is Prince Mahlangu. Remember, keep the love, keep the Ubuntu. Till next time, peace.